It's important that it's folded accurately, because as these sit around waiting for install day, if they're folded crooked, then they're going to train to hang crooked. So by folding these with the right amount of fabric folded over every time, the pleat will hang with the fabric in the right position all the way to the floor. So it'll hang nice and parallel. Each pleat will hang parallel from the top all the way to the bottom. The panel's ready for fan folding now. I'm going to start at the top by lining up the first 2 pins, which will end up being the first pleat right here. The little extra at the end is called the return, which is 3 inches, and then this pleat is 7 inches. So if I measure from the return to the fold of the pleat, we have about 6 3/4. So I want to measure 6 3/4 down here at the bottom, and then check all the way up to see that I have the same amount folded underneath. You want to start off with an even amount of fabric, and if it's too much, roll it back till it's the right amount. And I can feel where the edge is. That helps me measure. I'm just making little adjustments. If this was a pattern, you could use the pattern to follow all the way down each pleat. But when it's a solid, the best method is to measure each pleat. This one is from this pleat to this pleat, it's 10 3/4. So I'll fold that at the top and then grab that much at the bottom. And then when you're by yourself, you just want to try to guide the middle part over as you get the top and bottom set, and then try to ensure that the same amount of fabric has been pulled over with each fold. And in this case, I can see that the seam of the half width is laying really consistently straight, and to be really sure, I can measure it all the way down and make adjustments. It's a little bit skinny here. And so as you're going, whenever you get to a seam, you can use that to test your accuracy as you're folding. And then if you see any wrinkles as you're folding, you can press them. If you have the same amount of fabric in each pleat and each space all the way across, then you only have to measure once. But I made a few adjustments to get the seams to land in the spaces, so I'm going to just measure each one to make sure I'm really accurate. Ten and a half on that one. Here's this row of pins that is helping keep the lining together. So once I'm done fan folding the whole thing, I'll dig those out. And here we have another seam, so I can measure that and see how I'm doing. So up at the top, I have 6 7/8 from the seam to the fold. And then down here, I have 6 3/4. So I'm going to widen that by 1/8 of an inch. So now I'm at 6 7/8. So it was pretty close. Need to adjust a little bit down the center. Each fabric is going to handle differently, so checking your seam is going to be a good indication of how to handle each kind of fabric that you're tabling and fan folding. If you have a helper, you can have somebody at the bottom, somebody at the top. The person at the top can call out the number, and then the person at the bottom can measure over that much. Goes a little faster. Almost there. 2 more folds. And then this last one, I'm going to fold it and then measure it. 7 1/8. Okay, 7 1/8 all the way down. And then before I tie it up, I'm going to dig out those pins. Now that I know where they are, I'm going to start at the top and carefully remove them without poking myself and without disturbing the folds. It's definitely an accomplishment to get a drapery to this stage. All that's left is to pleat the pleats and tack the pleats and then insert the drapery hooks. And then I'll be careful as I move it around to get the tacking done and the pleating done that I don't disturb these folds. And I'm trying not to tie these too tight, otherwise I'll get a little crease on the edges. And clamping the top and bottom are gonna be like having an extra set of hands so that you can do this by yourself. If you had somebody to help you, you can have one person at the top and one person at the bottom. And that would really speed it up, but it's not impossible by yourself. Clamp it down and then come down here, measure that 10.5 inches, mark it with my thumb, and because it's clamped over there, I can pull on it and it creates that fold all the way down really nice and consistently. And now that I have that measurement of 10.5, it should be the same all the way through because all my pleats and spaces are the same. So I don't have to keep measuring that. I can just keep turning them up here. I do, however, have to measure down here to make sure I'm grabbing the right amount. And I'm just organizing some of these folds that are slipping in. Oops. Okay. Looks like a happy drape to me.